I remember, I guess about a year ago, he was going to open this place, and I, thought it'd be the perfect place for reading. These books you cannot find anywhere else. You can't browse like the internet to find them. This bookstore is just such a treasure of surprises and awesome things. So, really thrilled to be here with that, with a reading, and with the Raw Paw label. Raw Paw is a river to the people. Did you ever see Lawrence of Arabia?
Yes.
Lawrence of Arabia. And it's the scene when he finally gets his robe, his white robe, and he's out in the desert, and he's kind of flitting about, and he meets Anthony Quinn, and they're talking, and you think Anthony Quinn's just a lone guy, but then he introduces himself and he goes, "I am a river to my people." And there's like thousands of tents. So I love that line. Next time you see Lawrence of Arabia, look for that moment. So Raw Paw is a river to the people. And next time you see Lawrence of Arabia, that'll make a lot of sense. They're doing a lot of things, which I'll talk about as we go along. Part of the event tonight is to celebrate this chapbook template. So, we're going to aim for once a month to come out with a new chapbook. And Nicole Carlton does the covers, which is just an amazing design. And this design is even more amazing because it really reflects the contents of the book. And it proved to me she actually read the book. It's like, wow, I would have never come up with that. She does brilliant design work. So they'll have designs by her, and it's 20. Well, I broke the rules, of course, but the idea is 20 poems and 20 pages. I don't know how many are in here, but or 20 pages of poems. And it's called Mind Maze, which A.R. Rogers came up with, trying to brainstorm what to call it for ages, and A.R. gets the winning ticket. She's reading tonight. I haven't figured that out yet.
Actually, I wanted you to rope the moon.
The what?
I wanted you to rope the moon.
Oh yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm collecting the hemp to make the robe. And, we'll rope the moon, yes. Tonight we have 4 great readers. We have Ed Buffaloe, who was the founder of Aileron magazine, which was going in the 80s, which, if you want to know what used to be in Austin, you can ask Ed. If you want to know what's going on now, you can ask Ed. If you know what's going to be in the future, you can ask Ed. He's a man of all ages, man of many talents. And we have A.R. Rogers, who's typewriter busker. If you're going to Utopia Fest this weekend, she'll be there, and you can get a custom-made poem. I have one in my desk drawer. It's like she laser beams through all your noise and writes you a poem about your soul. It's amazing. Jonathan Lowell is late, but oh, good, he's here. So we have him, and I love his. He's been working on a series of postcard poems for his chapbook, and I'll let them speak for themselves. They're just amazing. All these people are going to be having chapbooks come out. See, that's the idea. And then Paula Mendoza, known for a number of years, and I just came up with that line today. Paula knows more about poetry, or Paula knows poetry better than most people know their own name. Because I think she does. I don't know. Brilliant writer. I'm super glad to have her here tonight. Without further lather for now, I will introduce Ed Buffaloe and let him take it away.
About me knowing everything about the poetry scene here is true. I was born here in 1951, just a few blocks away at the old Seton Hospital on Seton Avenue. And I got my first poem published when I was 16, fortunately under a pseudonym, so nobody will ever know that I wrote it. but I did work early on with this little magazine called Arcs, which we published from 1967 until about 1970 or 71. And then me and a couple of other guys founded Aileron in 1980, published that till 1989, and I've just kind of been underground since then. The first poem, I'm going to read 11 poems. The first poem is the fifth in a series called Mutability Cantos, which is a title I ripped off from Edmund Spencer. I dream myself leaving every vehicle a boat to cross the ocean of fictitious being. Departures so sudden I surprise myself, running from the part of myself I don't like or don't understand. Or is it the pain in your eyes? Emptiness is the only pure metaphor. In a world awash in language, connotations, implications, I try to imagine myself empty. We don't so much think our thoughts as our thoughts think us. The self, a simulacrum, a metaphor for the inconceivable. I dream myself arriving, barefoot scurf dweller, at some distant shore, empty and smiling. Here I am in my breath, my palms, soles, lips, chest, feelings, thoughts, and in the multitudinous objects of mind. Here I am, dweller in the ellipsis, begging salvation and forgiveness. Now I dream myself an old man whose mind is like the sky. This poem is entitled Buddhism 101, and the second section is based on one of the Pali Sutras, the Samyutta Nikaya. Not objects, nor perception, nor feelings derived therefrom, not the palm or the thigh, nor the tongue against the palate, not blood, nor mucus, nor bone, nor brain, not what are gone, nor what remain, only the vast and empty sky, non-referential in the mind's unblinking eye. This orderliness, this relatedness has remained, dependent upon birth, our sorrow and death. The awakened, thus gone one, sees and knows. Having seen and known, he declares, teaches, reveals, establishes, explains, and clarifies, saying, behold, conditioned by this, that comes to be. This was entitled Unobtainium. Tie the whole of it to my previous obsession with the origin of self. If we know who we are, perhaps then we will know what we should be doing. Double ingemination, I repeat myself, but in a different way each time. Give compunction a chance another few centuries and we'll really be sorry. Like sex, I can't stop doing it. None of us can. The unattainable is ultimately attained. The dead can be struck eloquent. But what is the price of forgiveness? I feel myself dropping beneath the verbal horizon, imbecilic, cataleptic, a radio tuned to an infrequent frequency, quantum futures transponding to variant pasts. In this insensate trance state, the universe is an allegory. And this one's called Ecstatic Drift. Memorial decay creeps in, sand in the desert, palimpsests reerased, elegies forgotten, songs left unsung, hail friends and lovers now long dead. Future remains interdependent with antecedent. Causal efficacy, imminence of the past in the present, and of the present in the near future. Karma, remembrance of past things. Out of interiority, towardness, direction, vector, as opposed to mere ecstatic drift. Second thoughts recur. Newness. Second thoughts recur. Mind, old, new in every moment. Time's elisions, evident but not predominant. How is it that we know what makes death worth living for? This poem is entitled Plastic Rose. It's in memoriam for Dorothea Eady, who lived from 1951 to 1969. This is a girl, this is the only person I ever knew who was born on the same day I was, and we celebrated our 18th birthdays together. You leaned over and kissed my cheek before closing the car door. Thanks for being my friend, you said. But a few months later, you were dead. You wrote me a letter to say you prayed to God for release. My last letter to you came back stamped, "Return to sender, deceased." I strained then to comprehend the meaning of decease, just as I strain now to remember your face. Decaying memories and stray implications are all I possess at this remove. I wonder, is there anyone else who mourns your loss? I steal a plastic rose off someone else's grave so I can photograph yours, marked only in my own heart. Frames of reference. Into the world of ideas, as if the pain in my heart were so easily avoided, as if emotion could be so breezily exempted from consideration. My future dwindles, though I can't think of not being, not having this interface, not remembering, not imagining who I might be in another frame. Locked inside my mind, I sympathize with the man trapped behind the mirror, growing older by the day, unlike myself who has forever failed to grow up. Asunder, I feel the physicality of my own separateness daily, adjustments minutely improvised, wholly implicit in every breath. The specificity of fingernails overrides atmospheric malaise, mutates into imaginary histories experienced by someone else. Electricity courses the body, and wind whispers nerve ends afire from within. Across the field, a woman's voice calls me. I respond as I have done my life long. Retro. In the continuance of time, it's the retro what catches the eye, the antique turn of speech what tickles the ear, the mechanical watch whose tick I no longer hear, fountain pen, jar of ink, mechanical typewriter, Smith & Wesson revolver, quaint diction. Time was, words lay dead on the page and mysterious, unable to convey meaning unless and until spoken aloud. Time was, selves were divided, incomplete. Thought occurred as a voice in the air, in the room, intimate, commanding, forewarning, like Socrates' demon. Time was, fallen angels instructed men in the art of alchemy. (1967). Summer sunset blues. Apocalyptic news trickles from the radio, most of which I prefer not to know. Cicadas hum and chirr. Adolescent longings recur. I remember the sweet 12-year-old woman I kissed in the back seat the year I was 16. Her sister at 17 in the front seat with Bill. Time gets compressed when you're old or insane. What escapes me now is her name. She placed my hand on her breast, and it remains clearly impressed in my memory to this day. Heat lightning belies rain, but it won't rain again until the hurricane comes. I dream my mother. Sometimes I dream my mother, so prim and organized, quietly disappointed in me, never doing what she expected. I was a dream she kept waking from, half afraid I might not come true. I dream my mother, young, happy, wondering why I was so strange, her little boy who never quite grew up, who never quite came true. I grew distant, and my dad grew distant too. I was never there when she needed me. I was her dream that faded, the little boy who never came home again. Sometimes I dream my mother, asking, do I believe in God, as if it would assure her a place in heaven. Stuck in the future. Dreams pass current for poets, fools alike, the difference being how they spend them. Strange bents, imaginings, exotic whims, ancient inclinations drink blood and speak. Mirror shard analecta illuminate life's crepuscule. The undrowned by the sea wake from dark dreams, slowly begin to see what they had thought bad luck was really fate. Call the fools of time, tell them there is no way back but by dream or madness. Cosmic laughter, hilare delirium, we are stuck in the future and have nowhere to go. Winter reflection. Dreamlike diaphanum, suffused with flat light, slightly blue shifted, filtered through iron gray clouds. Silver river flowing from past through present into distant futures. We give it a name, but do not know what it is. Gone to wander in the mind, no future but the moment. There are occasional flares of regret when we forget to forget. Eyes closed, self as it is known, descries the inner scape, hovers above symbols and portents, wings the desolate abyss. Fantasy keeps vigil when other senses sleep. A faint stellar virtue trickles down from invisible planets. Thank you.